think I'm just going to start saying I'm going on at 3:30 rather than 3, because though if I do that I may start ending up in here at 4, but it's gloomy and gross and just threatening to storm, and it's been doing it all day, so I want something bright and cheerful and fun. So let's see what we can choose. I still feel like I need to turn the thing upside down for that one. But I was kind of thinking this, because this looks like it should be really bright colors, which fits my mood for today. I even brought out my floral cup just for a little bit of added brightness. And I will be right back. I have to go keep my conures from... Oh, no, never mind, they made up. I don't know if you can hear them or not, but they are ridiculous. And I think just for today, I'm actually going to grab my markers. Or my pens, I should say. They are gel pens. It's good to change it up from time to time, right? I haven't done one in these. I've used them here and there to accent. I've actually done one in these. They are very bright, which I enjoy. It's hard to say if I actually prefer the pens or the pencils, but sometimes you do need to mix it up just a bit. But I wasn't kidding when I said let's brighten things up. It has been so dreary all day long. And it just kind of takes away from... It takes a toll on someone like me who has various different types of mental health issues. Nothing dangerous or anything like that, just some anxiety that when the weather's like this tends to act up just a bit. But for some reason that helps. I love having an excuse to just do something insanely bright. There we go. I am definitely a fan of this being my first color. It's so insanely bright. It brings me joy. Don't know why, but it does. It hurts my eyes just a little bit, but it brings me joy. Let's see. Let's use something that's not quite so insanely bright, but still very pretty. I don't think I've used this one before. There we go. If you've ever used gel pens, sometimes you have to kind of get them to start flowing properly. Quite as eye-searing bright, but it's still a good color. And there will be quite a bit more eye-searing bright. I just wanted to balance it out a little tiny bit. And there is not going to be a rhyme or reason to starting from one point of, so for today, it's going to be whatever the color decides it needs to be, that's where it's going to go. So I'll kind of be all over the place, but I kind of like when it works out like that because you can kind of watch the picture come together from a little bit of everywhere instead of like spreading slowly out on the page. I do like both ways. If a page has a really good like specific focal point, starting from there can definitely work, or coming into it. But the random wherever the color lands thing is also quite fun to me. I think we're also going to do this right here in the middle of these. This kind of neat little star piece here. There we go. I probably will end up coming back and reusing colors because I don't have nearly as many markers as I do colored pencils. But I am definitely enjoying this process already. It'd be easier if my pencil would work, or pen, or marker, whatever you want to call this thing. Well, bubbles in it. That's why. See, sometimes if you take a pencil apart or a marker apart, you can see when it's not working right, why it's not working right. I am not quite sure what you guys are discussing down there, but please watch the inappropriate use of emojis for me. I'm not a kids channel, but there are quite a few children that do come to this page. So I'd like to keep it reasonably clean, please. If you were asking if this is my artwork, no, it is not. If you actually, whoops, let's just spill my coffee in the process. There we go. Back to Insanely Bright. Don't know why that pen is quite so odd, but we'll stick it so that it can hopefully work through those bubbles. That's going to be a problem today, isn't it? There we go. And if you hear strange noises on my side, that is my dog Loki chewing on his bone. All right. Now that we're back to working markers, or pens, or whatever we're calling them, there we go. I also realized I forgot to turn my television down a little bit before I started. So you may hear the exciting sounds of Buffy in the background, because that's what I was watching earlier. and I will be watching again later. Sorry, I'll just knock you guys over, no big deal. Pretty sure I had some spots in here a minute ago, and I'm okay with that. As long as they don't start being rude, I don't mind it. There we go. I am definitely a fan of these nice, bright, cheerful colors. Definitely makes a difference, doesn't it? I want one more spot of this nice, pretty pink, because it does just brighten the whole page up. We're getting somewhere. We cannot have a picture with no blue. I just have to decide which blue I want. I think I like this one. I do wish this had a little section like my Halloween book where I could test my colors. That would be awesome. There we go. It's one of those combinations that is, they clash, but they clash just right to actually look really good together, if that makes any sense. They don't really match, but they work together for some reason. I am an artsy type person who does not have her color wheel memorized, so don't judge me too harshly. I am in no way, shape, form, or fashion a professional. I just like to color and paint. And I am probably not going to get around to a full long form day just because I'm still assessing the piece, figuring out what all I need to do to pull it back up. If you look in my videos or in my playlists, you'll see Miss Bunny periodically. She got beaten up in the same storm that got Frankenfrog and my bird bath messed up, so she needs some love. So she's going to be next in line. I'm just trying to figure out just how bad off she is before I start working on her so that I don't make matters worse. Actually, I think I want more of this. There we go. And if you hear the little kissy noises in the background, that is my conures being really, really stinking cute today. They can be a lot, but sometimes they can be really sweet. There we go. And I'm just assuming this is the last petal because otherwise it just looks very weird. We got another one of these here. And one more up there. Oh, here we go. I found a good purpose for this blue. And I think I might put a little on my butterfly while I'm at it. It's a great thing about coloring is you're only limited by what you can imagine. As long as you can make it make sense to yourself, you can really make anything any color you want. There we go. Go. I was really debating where to put this blue on here. Then I decided. It's a random spot, but it works. I kind of like this one. It's a very gentle blue. It's not super bright, but it's not too pale and it's not too dark. It kind of fits perfectly to me. And of course, I have to have as many excuses to have as much blue as I can because it is, in fact, my absolute favorite color. This isn't my favorite tone, but it's a very pretty and I'm very happy with it. There we go. I think that really works with that pink too. Let's see. That yellow might be the most insane colored thing I will pull, so we're gonna do purple. Make sure she works. There we go. So we're starting to see, I guess I did use a purple, but this one's just slightly different. Not very much, but slightly. And I don't know if that makes that pink brighter or pulls it back a little bit, but it definitely looks good together, so that works. There we go. I don't think I'm going to go nuts with this particular purple, but we'll get a few things in here. There we go. This is actually much more calming than I was thinking it was going to be. It's kind of pulling my anxiety back into manageable levels. I don't feel like I'm vibrating from the energy of threatening storms anymore, so that's good. It's good to be able to just focus in on one thing and kind of forget what it's like outside for a little while. And time is going quite nicely. I try to stay as regular about these as I can. I aim for 3 o'clock, usually end up hitting about 3:30. I do try to hit at least 30 minutes. Sometimes I go over a little bit, but I'm not mad about that. You know what? I want my sparkly purple or my sparkly green. Pardon me as I search through my pencils for the ones that I tend to use quite a bit. These are my oddball metallics and sparklies that I happen to like a great deal. They are pretty colors, and they really don't belong in with my pencils anyway. So now, this is what I was looking for. This is just a nice, fun, sparkly green that adds a little bit of extra life to a picture. You can kind of see. It's very shimmery. Yeah, I like that. It's definitely darker than everything else, but it adds its own little pop of something extra, which, if you're going for kind of a whimsical feel, it doesn't hurt to add shiny and sparkle, right? And I'm trying very hard not to listen to one of the funniest episodes of Buffy. It's the great thing about having streaming services is you can always go back and rewatch the episode that you missed. It's a great way to just kind of chill when you're having an off day, as you find a favorite show and you just completely binge on it. Really? We're going to be like this now? There we go. That actually really brought a healthy new element to it, didn't it? There we go. I think I will probably work more with my pencils for a good while, but it is kind of fun to do things a little bit different. Especially when you're trying to pull yourself out of a little bit of a funk. There we go. Me and this pen are going to fight. There we go. I do apologize. I know I'm not as talkative today as usual. As I said, a little bit of an off day, but we're managing. There we go. I think that made a huge difference, didn't it? Now, let's add some yellow. I think we're going to use this actually on the butterfly's wings, because this is kind of a golden yellow, and it is very sparkly. It's almost an orangey color, but I use this one a lot for outlining things in gold, or copper actually. So I do think I have a copper one of these as well. The big problem I run into with gel pens is it's almost impossible to get it in there perfectly smooth. Where with the colored pencils, you can just kind of keep going. And it darkens the color a little bit, but it also smooths it out to where you can't see the pencil strokes nearly as much. That doesn't seem to work with gel pens. I guess if I worked slower, it might happen, but I don't want to be at this all day, and I definitely don't like ending videos with a picture, with the thing unfinished. I think I went just a little tiny bit word salad there, but it's all right. There we go. And I think I'm going to do the bottom a different color. Maybe the other shade of this. It's a nice sparkly color. And it's kind of orangey, so it's working well in with my flowers as well. There we go. This is one very big, very colorful flower at this point. There we go. Now, let's see. Who's next? I'm not sure what it's supposed to be, but this looks like kind of a peachy. Let's see. Oh dear, that's bright. That is extremely bright. I guess it is pretty close to the color on the packaging. There we go. Oh, I like that. And I am on my own at the moment, which is fine as well. And I'm about to hit my 30-minute mark. There we go. That is very bright. I don't know what made me decide I needed to use my gel pens today, but I'm kind of glad I did. It is quite fun to see them actually pop out on your screen as well as mine. The problem is with bright colors, or with the bright colored and the colored pencils, a lot of times even those the camera doesn't pick up well. And the pastel-y types just barely show up through the camera, which is disappointing. Sometimes I do actually fairly vibrant pictures, and you guys don't really get to see the true final feel for it. Where these, you can't miss it. Might have to get myself a few more packs of these, just different types of tones, because I would like to do some pastel things. Seems like pretty much all of these are really, really bright. There we go. And we finally have the end of that. If I can get the marker to stay working. These markers are not new. I don't use them as much as I probably should, so they are kind of getting older. Sometimes you just gotta knock the ink back down where it belongs. There we go. I think that's enough of that. Let's do these other leaves in a different green. Looks like it's going to be a very, very bright green. Or nothing at all if I don't. Oh dear. I apologize for your eyes. It's kind of fun though. I think this is exactly what I needed today. Just something insanely bright, just because I can. I like my bright colors. It's just part of who I am. They work for me. There we go. There we go. I think. Let's go ahead and make this guy this color. I want it to stand out from those really bright green leaves. There we go. That's a little bit better. Actually, I think come in with red sparkly just to start finishing things up. And we're going to push these markers up because they're kind of getting in my way. There we go. Now I will probably leave a few things white just to kind of break up the insanely bright. This flower not being one of them. But I think a lot of like this outsides of this and maybe parts of this will stay white. Just to kind of break up some of the color. I'm already like really happy with how this has turned out. It's so bright and so fun. Yes, my project is, if you're having an off day, it's okay to find something that you find super relaxing and take a few minutes out of your day to recenter yourself a little bit and just relax and enjoy. Whether it's coloring, a sport, singing, anything like that can make a difference. And I think we're going to make him. And if you're like me and bright colors just make the difference, you can do something that involves that. For me, it's just making myself sit still and do something that makes me feel a little bit better. But I get very antsy. So sitting still helps a lot. You wouldn't think it, would you? That's silver. That is not what I wanted to grab. And this is the lighter yellow. That is more of a gold color than, well, that's more like a copper almost. There we go. Well, that's better. We got our butterfly done. He is very sparkly, which I am a huge fan of. Let's see. Kind of running out of ideas. Actually, I think I'll be right back. I have one that I was using for actual writing on my table. Which would probably be one of my favorite colors. And I think will help quite a bit in kind of pulling this thing together. Of all of the gel pens I have right now, this one is my favorite. It is very blue and very sparkly, both of which are things I thoroughly enjoy. And this is the closest one I have to my favorite shade of blue. So he gets used a lot. As you can see, the coffee is not just a prop. It is, in fact, coffee. You talk for 40 minutes straight and see if you don't need something to wet your throat on occasion. And coffee is my liquid of choice. At least today I remembered to turn off my, or turn on my do not disturb. I forgot that yesterday, and of course, in the period of time where I was doing my live, everybody needed to reach out to me. It's the way it goes. You can't fuss over it too much. Excuse me. Just topping off a couple of spots here with some more true yellow. Like I said, I love bright colors. Well, it would be bright if it would work. Would it be one of my lives if everything went exactly as planned? Probably not. All right. So I think I am going to go ahead and stop there. Now, I may be genuinely late tomorrow, just depending on how quickly I can get out of the house and back in, because I have to run some things to my parents' house, which is a few towns away. So I'll try and get back as quick as I can, but I cannot absolutely promise with certainty that I will be within the 3 to 3:30 range, but I promise to try. So, I mean, there is that. If you hear that sound, that is me starting to put my markers back up. But, so until then, I will talk to you guys next time. Okay, I am done.